doom. They fall in the same model. I'm trying to get on here. Why am I renouncing Canadian citizenship? Not just leaving. I don't want to do it. I'm ashamed of Canada. You're going back to a progressive conservative. They're the worst party in Canada. I don't care what you say. I was in the Green Party and we couldn't get anywhere with them. Was I against Trudeau? Well, he said it's a slippery slope, democracy and freedom. Truckers convoy, a bunch of crazies on there when YouTube's destroyed Canada. Yeah, they didn't have any policies on the law and order. I remember Trudeau did say, Justin, but I was on there and I said I wouldn't vote for those CBCs. Well, paying taxes on my box to live in a box. Why are you? Your mindset. You allow these PCs to manipulate you. They've never had any plan to make Canada great. I remember when they came out, they were about getting a job. I believed in sole proprietor. I didn't want to be a part of the job system. I have my reasons. I became an animal activist. But that, Jordan Peterson says that's so wrong. Activism. Well, I'll leave you, Jordan. We won't have any activism. I was studying psychology. So was Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. I went into the spiritual side of it. I don't believe in clinical psychiatry like that. In psychiatry, it's ungodly. And there's just scoundrels, all your politicians now, like Jean Pierre. Jean, they're all want guns in here. They're as bad as the United States. She married an Australian from the state of. And I said, it's dangerous out there. You got creepy collie things. Yeah, but not everybody's carrying guns. I don't like guns. I've been shot at. Catch and release system. These conservatives are just no good. They're libertarians. Okay, I don't say what everybody else says on here. I said the housing market's the libertarian movement. Privilege. Nobody's privileged. I always learned to look after horses and look after myself. I bought things outright. I'll never go into debt, and I'm not buying anything on a debt system. The economy's crashing. You gotta read Outlet. Oh, she's a feminist. You gotta read The End of Growth and know what the hell's happening. They're following the U.S. fiat currency. Maybe Trudeau's wrong. Putting that pipeline was against my value. Wait, jobs. That's all you talk about. Sole proprietor or business independent is working for yourself, not tethered to any system. All I see is doom. I see ranches going down. There's an overextension of loans and banks. Why would we go into this? Bill Gates, what's he want to do? He doesn't want to free America. He wants to rule it with farms and by agriculture. His system's the technology. But the old agriculture was pretty good. The organic. Let the farmer figure it out. We got enough information online. Keep everything going and regenerative agriculture systems. I'm grassroots agriculture. I have no use of Canada now for oil sector. I'm part Aboriginal on my mother's side, and that got healed, but nothing gets healed here. We're still using psychiatry. It almost killed me, and then she comes out and says, you need a psychiatrist for you tonight in Canada. I am denouncing it. I don't want to be tied to it. It's hurt me. The whole system's hurt me over the years. DDT, chemicals, killed my mother. So I work up here to get away from this horse slaughter. So I go and run to another barn. I quit there. Horse slaughter pens, horse abuse. I want a kinder way with animals. So I want to be independent. I wasted a lot of time because of CPCs. I say I need some funds now. I'm well. I got off the drugs and the pharmaceutical racket. And I started realizing food's medicine, not drugs. And Abraham Hoffer went out to, but she says, take your meds. Well, they're all they're all pill posts. I started realizing what's numbing me. Television, I couldn't stand it. Felt controlled. Do you ever feel that? Just this mind-hacking noise coming in. The news. And they're just putting this right-wing agenda out there. Why we need this, why we need that. We need law and order and not a catch and release system for killing people. But we sure don't need all that energy sector. Imagine the end of oil. But they say I'm crazy. Then maybe I am. But somewhere else I won't be. So what am I going to do in Australia? I'm studying Australian Reiki systems. I'm going to be a Reiki master teacher. And I'm going to play music. And try to hope that we can keep away from it. Canada, it might be blown up. It's Putin. That's what I'm getting at too. I think we're close to nuclear war and we're just fighting amongst ourselves. She's a disaster. You let the house flip and go on, and then you blame it on the Trudeau. If you listen to Trudeau, he really didn't have much to do with that. But you believe that. Because there's a bunch of mouths on here that just are so right-wing. Joe Shapiro, have you ever been homeless? Have you ever been on drugs? You blame them for your capitalistic greed and your free market garbage? I was a Marxist for a while, but I'm not now. But I see this free market capitalism externalities and junk everywhere on fresh air. I think you're a Nazi attacking the people that are on the streets. Sure, they're on drugs. That's a scoundrel. Scoundrel. He's always attacking somebody instead of looking at solutions to help people. I don't hear that. I don't hear a solution to help people get off drugs. So I'll just leave you to denounce people. You're just like Mike Harris. He went down people too. Scoundrels. That's what conservatives are. You're not my gig. I'm a helping practitioner, and I don't like that type of politics. It's too far right. She said you need meds and psychiatry. You're probably on a med thing because you're numb. You don't think for yourself. You can say insults at me, baby. I wouldn't even date a Canadian with that sort of idea. I've dated those girls that are on meds. They're messed up. Go to your shrinks, take your pills, and be a pilpo. Like Don Tillman said, be a pilpo. And you can't deal with life, so you listen to Jordan Peterson and not have any empathy. Canada's got a lot of things I hate. Jordan Peterson, Rex Murphy, T-Rex, I call him. He's an ugly sucker. He said he'd sue me. Well, bring it on. You can't sue an old man. You could, maybe. I don't know. You're a lawyer. Yeah, who gives a crap? I hate Rex Murphy. I hate Jordan Peterson. They're a bunch of slugs. I just think any man that runs down women. I remember where they were attacking Elizabeth May. And that was Peter MacKay. He got on that show there. She was supposed to be talking to PK, and now they just pulled her out and started attacking her. And she said, I did, what was his name? Duffy. Yeah, he was a journalist. I did admire your ability for being a journalist. But the way you're acting just now, you just dropped all respect for you, Duffy. Yeah, just to put him out in the center, far right, and attack Elizabeth May. I stood with Elizabeth May. We had a private members' bill to end the horse slaughter industry in Canada. The Green Party and the NDP got the third reading. It was just thrown out. I give up on Canada. So I live by values. Is that a mental illness? Is it a mental illness? I say no more oil, no more fossil fuels. Is it a mental illness? No Canada, because you decided to make that your way. I have environmental values. I'm grounded, and I've talked to top musicians. They're a lot older than me. You know your head. Do what your head says. I'm not dementia like Mother Jones that goes around saying boomers are full of it. And they did it because you don't even know the time frame of the boomers. 1967, I was 12 years old. I was born the same year as Steve Jobs. So get off the pot and talking about boomers, and we did it. We didn't do anything. That's a generalized Mother Jones bunch of crap. And they're like a Tea Party component you're listening to. See, you're pointing fingers at everything, but you're not looking for solutions. Can I really run down your generation, or can I say something positive? What if you got off all those devices? Like here, I'm going off here, and I'm just using an Apple Watch. Because I don't want to carry a phone with me everywhere. Because I'm always scrolling through it. It's like an addiction. I'm in a bar there, and they're scrolling through their friggin' phones. They pick your phone up and want to move over or something, they drop it. They pick it out of your pocket just for a watch. If somebody calls, they got a phone. But I don't want to be carrying a phone with me everywhere. I met some older musicians from Oak Center. They're composers. I said, "Where the hell is your phone?" Not like those kids over there. We sitting down here. We want to talk, man. We talk about music composition. So, I'm just wondering why people are dying at my age. Because you're listening to all sorts of horsemen. I just lost a dear friend that was a piano player. What happened to him? He died. The world seems so... I've had a few people die. Why? Because the world's so screwed up with these ideologies. So I just like a breath of air, stay to myself and ignore it and try to get through the system, get enough money to leave Canada. I'm denouncing citizenship. I got forms. I'm going to get in front of that and file them. I'll take them down to the library tomorrow on Monday, and he'll print those forms out. I'm filing a complaint against some people here, lawyers. They're on the take for real estate, so I'll file a complaint. And then I'm going to contest the will. No, you can't do that. It's too long. No. I got grounds. I got grounds of hardship. Holding up estates and beyond the limit of the statute. Still, I can do it. I started research. I'm not a lawyer. Can't get a lawyer for $10,000. I got one up there in Ottawa, $1,000, and I'll get money out of that. But I'm tired of Canada. I'm tired of food prices going up, being tethered to box stores. That's the problem. CP, the rail is not the fossil fuel industry that's taxed. It's raised the food prices up. That's lies. The truth is that Canadian Pacific is not shipping food because Stephen Harper shut down negotiations in the unions. Did you know that? So your problem is all PC, but you're going back to them. There's other parties, people. I think Zing's pretty good. I think NDP, Green Party, but I wouldn't vote for He's a liar. Each one of them are lying. Can't you deceive it? But you got a lot of liars online. So the guru's a liar. He's a liar. He's a charlatan. I wouldn't listen to him. Do I like India anymore? No, I don't go there. It's getting too much. Self-proclaimed gurus of a new order. Oh, I like Mahatma Gandhi, Krishnamurti, but they're gone. So I don't hold with India. Going to that fake guru, Cha guru that runs on Reiki. I'm a Reiki master. Do I hate him? No, I just don't want to hear him. Is it hate? Hate that you don't like noise? Is it hate that you don't want things? You prefer vanilla to chocolate? Is that hate? No, I just don't want it anymore. I don't want it shoved on me. So I don't think I'm a hater. And I don't think I'm mentally ill. I've made a choice to denounce Canadian citizenship. She said you need a psychiatrist. Maybe you need a psychiatrist because you're voting CPC. That could be my opinion. We could analyze it. So I'm against analytical psychology. Jungian was synchronicity. So I'm against all that stuff. And Jordan Peterson's an analytical clinical psychologist. But I was just listening to courses. Well, you got to refer them to those crackpots. Nah, in North America, I'm not going to refer to anybody to them. If I can help them, I help them. I'll turn them over to a naturopathic or holistic practitioner. Because that's unconscious stuff, that drug pushing. All to the fatherland industry. Now they're giving assisted death, so they've just stated that they can't heal anybody. Now, am I anti-psychiatry? Of that analytical form, I am. And the drug pushing manuals. There's got to be good psychiatry, like good therapists, but not in the Canadian system that you can find. There might be one or two. It's the independents, but they cost money. And the problem with the whole political free market system, we're paying taxes on it. And these people are so poor they can't afford good therapy. It's just a rubbish system. So why would I support it? I would want to pay health care. But those cards are no good to me. I don't use them. I don't go to doctors. They might need one. The only thing that's going to kill me is traffic and people not obeying the law and drunk driving and stuff. I walk the trails at night and eat wildlife. It doesn't bother me. I haven't been attacked. I've been attacked by guns and knives and people needing money for drugs and people are homeless. But who do I point the finger at? Libertarians that have been flipping these housing markets. Yeah. If I got to point fingers, I'm pointing them at those brokers that know the market's going to crash, but they keep going and they elect the conservatives. That's the whole point. The key on Trudeau had nothing to do with this. But you're making out that he did. Well, that's your funeral. And the kid on the box paying for his cardboard box to sleep on the street. I don't envy you. But it was your parents. Your yuppie parents that were in debt. Not the boomers. I work for a living, and he comes in and he doesn't know anything about my past. He says, that's a Fender Telecaster. That's a really nice one. It's a U.S. kid. It's not Japanese. Is it paid for? Yeah, I bought it cash when there's gold in the bank. I own it. Lock, stock, and barrel, and I'm not selling it. And I've been living on the food bank because I couldn't get my funds in. And I just realized I got to do it all myself. It's DIY. The security's got to be on the computer. There's nobody here that'll do it for me. And I'll do it tomorrow, on Monday, and put it through and get those checks in. Then I'm going to get a permit. I'm going to get my birth certificate. I've been asking him to give me back the birth certificate. They lost it. So you can't depend on the young kid. He's rushing around. Moved me out of the place. They got the birth certificate. Well, it's $25. If I have to pay the $25, I'll get it. Then I'm going to get my thing, my 10-year, it's $180. 10 years of passport. And I'll keep a coverage on it. Then I'm going to start getting my medical files changed, go to an Australian medical board, get a check, a police check for character, and start the procedures to become an Australian citizen by descent. I got to go for the government to shifter out all documents, all the passports, everything to my mother. Well, I'm going to sue her I'm just going to contest the will and get all the estate back. I got enough proof that she misrepresented the will. And I guess I'll have to do it myself. I can get up to Barrie and get the forms through. But I'm going to use Legal Shield. It's about $60 a month. It's good because I want to start practicing Reiki professionally. And then I'm going to take it overseas. And I'll have enough money to take the train and say goodbye, Canada. And I'll take the rail right across because I love trains. Canada's countryside's good. It's just the politics sucks. And progressive conservatives aren't in BC, but it's so expensive there. But it's expensive all over the world. But they're not in BC. It's the only damn place they're not. And they're trying to get something that's more of a green environmental government in BC. There's things that all I see with people in BC that are bitching. They don't go to the government. They don't write issues. My friend, I broke off with her because she was starting to support the CPCs. Yeah, I broke a friendship off. She's a Reiki master. But she thinks everybody should have guns. Well, sister, you never been shot by a gun? You ever had a catch and release like these police officers have? Do you ever have that? You don't need guns. You need law and order. You need truckers put in jail. You do. Yeah, Trudeau didn't do it right. His father would have just got the military in there and with howitzers and blowing those friggin' trucks up. They were renegades trying to make a revolution in Canada for the covert, but there's nothing to do with the covert. They all had vaccine shots. It was ridiculous. And you're talking about freedom. There's no freedom in a democracy. Maybe you hate all these immigrants. You know, I'm going to tell you, the only ones I don't like are the ones that won't assimilate and got Don Cherry and goes against Mackenzie King's prophecy of you assimilate and bear laws. That's in Australia too, but it doesn't mean you're racist. So everything's going too extreme here. And I'm a spiritual man, and I don't believe in living in a country that is destroying the planet. Okay? Destroying the planet is against my spiritual beliefs. So I'm going to live in Australia and New Zealand, and I can go back and forth with an Australian citizenship. And I don't want a Canadian. So I might run for parliament if I get some guts up. Run for politics. You can't run for politics with a dual in Australia, but you can run for politics as a full Australian citizen. I'm ashamed of this country. I'm ashamed of my nieces and nephews deserting me because I was part of Australia. And I'm just ashamed of it. Greed, ego, and greed. I don't have those values. It's like a fear-based system. Think of it. Everybody's got to make money. And it's competitive. This is what's happening in the United States. The crash has begun. We're following the same model. So goodbye, Canada. I'm burning the friggin' flag when I leave because I hate that flag. That was put in by Diefenbaker, another conservative. My dad fought for king and country, and it had the coat of arms in there. Australia does too. Not that. I'll burn that flag up on the Blue Mountains of Australia. And I'll have a Barbary roast. because I hate the flag of Canada. It's a piece of conservative right-wing crap. My cousin left us Canada in 1950s, 60s. The Avro Arrow, and you can hear all the rubbish on there. But that was Diefenbaker. He was an astrophysicist. Yeah, he wasn't a clinical psychologist like Jordan Peterson. He was a logical astrophysicist. Worked for NASA. Now, NASA is the ones that are coming out with the statement that climate change is caused by man-made fossil fuels. But they say no. So you can keep on living here and not listening to scientific research and being ungodly and destroying the planet and denying climate change, going on about your cardboard boxes and blaming Trudeau. But Trudeau had nothing to do with that. It's those PCs. Stephen Harper, libertarianism. Give me liberty or give me death. What did Trudeau say? He said conservative democracy is a slippery slope. There's no freedom there. There's no freedom in a marriage, but that's why marriages don't last, because everybody wants freedom. So you can only serve one master, democracy or freedom. Well, Australia serves democracy. Canada, you people want freedom. So you're welcome to it and let her cook. You got a lot of enemies now. North Korea and Putin's lining up weapons. See, I don't think Australia really got into that thing with, but New England, the United States, and Canada did on the Ukraine. And they're not too happy with it now. Not that I agree with it. I don't believe in blowing up a country. But I'm going to tell you something. I read a book by Neville Schultz. What was it, the 1940s? And a lot of his stories came true. On the beach. You know what on the beach is? The last auto race in Australia. The friggin' planet's blown up by nuclear weapons in the West. And you're watching the bloom on the beach. It's Neville Schultz classic. They come up and it was, watch the movie, it's an old one. On the beach after the nuclear holocaust. Well, you got Putin and North Korea looking at going against the UN nuclear treaty. You're in a serious lot of trouble. So you fight amongst yourselves, get the PCs in, and have a barbecue and roast as you nuke. So that's what's happening. They have no respect for Canadian military at all. Because they lie. They lie all the time. I've been around the Canadian forces. They weren't helping them with housing. They didn't help them one freaking rip. And they don't help them with, they just want to pay them out. Give them big money so they can go out and get drunk and not get treatment. So that's your Canadian conservatives. Liars. Liar, liar, liar. That blonde up there in Ottawa, what was her name? She's a typical good-looking chick, but she's a freaking bimbo. CPC bimbo. And that's what I mean, bimbos. They're just, anybody that votes right-wing's got to be, I wouldn't even freaking look at you. I used to date hookers, prostitutes, and exotic dancers got more class than you girls. You sure did. You sure did, you whores. So I'm getting pretty rude here. I think they're all whores. If you're voting right-wing. I've never liked right-wing parties. I was always the middle path. The moderate, the Green Party, the environmental movement. But we didn't do it. Richard Nixon did it. Yeah, but everything is related to the fiat currencies if you don't figure that out. So what could you do in Canada? Instead of bitching, voting right wing, reformulating grassroots economies and getting off fossil fuels and start doing it yourself. There's no way you're going to get anywhere with those boys. They're not going to solve your problems. Your follow-up's going to bring guns back in. Yeah, it'd be a survival meltdown. While you have nuclear war, you got a Holocaust. And he's just the answer for you. He's the answer for the far right. Those soldiers that they got that he's defending going around with those truckers, they're a bunch of unhealed Quebec dissident soldiers that got PTSD. Okay? And I've seen this all the time. Good soldier doesn't get into that when he's healed. So it's the healing for PTSD. A lot of therapy, wounded warriors programs, but there's no respect for the military. They had the Queen's funeral. These stupid kids are out there yelling, going against the Queen. Ashamed of Canada. You're all mind hacked. The whole friggin' generation's lost. We're lost. Listen to these right-wing fascists. The Oompa boys. They're everywhere, and they're just popping up all over. And that's why I've been thinking of leaving YouTube. It's so toxic with listening to bullshit all the time. The far-right parties. Blaming Trudeau. Trudeau is just a puppet in the game. He's just a puppet. So I'm really ashamed of what's going on. We need content laws and better laws, and they never put it in time. So you all went against it. If you're Jordan Peterson, you don't know what freedom is. Distorting news and information is not freedom. That's influence. And it's wrong. To have a one or two, it's a power struggle. It's making you feel big to do the wrong thing. Because the human ego is a terrible thing. Nobody likes to admit they have them, but they are. And the human ego is what's merged in this collective consciousness of synchronicity. And just plug it in here again. And get in there. But I have no use here listening to any more far-right parties. Absolutely no use. So I'm going to leave YouTube alone. I'll probably go to Vimeo and make my own videos when I get enough money. I'm going to write a book, but I'm not going to do it on here. Because you can't grow roses in a garden of weeds. Take care. Can't live on YouTube.